British former champion Carl the Cobra Froch blames Eddie Hearn for Joshua Wilder not taking place this September. Stay tuned. Boxing Ego here. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon on the top of your screen to get notified when the latest new content drops. What up, fight world? It's your boy Ego and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also subscribe to the channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. Now, respected former champion Carl Froch, he gave his recent thoughts to IFL TV, link in the description in case you want to hear it for yourself. And he was talking about the situation with Joshua Wilder. At first, that's not what the conversation was about. It was more for the fight with Joseph Parker and Dillian Whyte. He was kind of giving his thoughts on that. And then obviously, it's the heavyweight division of this upcoming fight this Saturday, Whyte versus Parker. So naturally, it bled into the conversation of Anthony Joshua. Now, he said some very telling and revealing things regarding his personal opinion. And he makes that clear. He's like, because they had the same trainer, Rob McCracken, and AJ and Carl Froch. He makes it very abundantly clear that this is not like inside intel. He's just merely giving his own opinion on what has stalled the fight. And he listed two words, Eddie Hearn. And at first, the host that's interviewing him said, oh, no, seriously. And he says, Eddie Hearn. He said, what do you think caused the breakup? And then Carl Froch says, Eddie Hearn. And he said, no, seriously. He's like, blame Eddie. That's what he said. Carl Froch said, blame Eddie. And then he kind of like had a smirk or something. So the host says, no, seriously. He's like, I am being serious. He said, Eddie Hearn. I think Eddie Hearn. And then they're like, why do you think it's Eddie? And it was funny because the host almost sounded like astounded that a British fighter who's kind of close to the situation, or former British fighter, and somebody who's, on UK soil, a UKer, right, guy from England, would reveal and say Eddie Hearn. You know what I mean? His former promoter would say he's the culprit. You know what I mean? It's like he was caught back by it, like the statement. But anyway, he said, I am being serious. He said Eddie Hearn. They said, why do you think it's Eddie Hearn that is the holdup? And he said, because Eddie's a good promoter. So he's going to basically stall this thing out, let it marinate, let it build up. The fight will just keep generating interest for the most part. And hopefully the guys keep winning. Wilder wins who he fights, and basically Joshua, and I'm paraphrasing, Joshua beats Povetkin, and then the fight becomes bigger. So listen, I'm going to give my thoughts now. You guys check the link in the description if you want to hear verbatim, exactly word for word what he said. But it's so funny that what he's saying, I've been saying. Now, I know I used to live in the UK, but I wasn't born and raised in the UK my whole life, right? So once again, the walls are closing in on this situation. You have people like Lennox Lewis, Evander Holyfield, Carl Froch, Boxing Ego, right? You have Deontay Wilder giving his statement. You have Joseph Parker, Luis Ortiz, Tyson Fury. You have all these different guys, and no matter where they're from, Luis King Kong Ortiz, he's from Cuba. You have Carl Froch from the UK. Lennox Lewis says that Wilder deserves 40%. Joshua gets the lion's share at 60, right? You got Americans, different people. You got Joseph Parker from New Zealand, right? You got TMZ in America. And they're saying that Joshua's scared and he needs to fight. And I think I really get the feeling and the notion that Wilder wants this fight. So like I said, the walls are closing in. New media, Ego's Army. We don't even have to really belabor the point. We're going to keep staying on top of this subject, but the truth is coming out. You see more and more people, no matter where they're from, the people who are being real, they're calling it how they see it. So let's see all the channels and the YouTube writers and different people that have had the total opposite opinion of mine or this channel as far as who's created this holdup, if you will, for Joshua Wilder. Let's see if they talk about what Carl Froch said, because Carl Froch, what reason does he have? Like, see, this is what happened. This is where you guys always end up getting caught up, and this is why Ego's Army is the new regime, Death Row East believe in that, because the stuff y'all say doesn't hold up over time, right? First they try to relegate it to, oh, it's just you Yanks, you Americans. Oh, you American channels are so biased. Oh, Ego, personally, you're so biased. You American Yank, right? Okay, so explain Carl Froch saying this. He blames Eddie Hearn. So why he said it? That's his former promoter. You know, he's friends with Joshua. And for the record, he did say that Deontay Wilder could catch Anthony Joshua, but he said the favorite would be Anthony Joshua. He says he would pick Anthony Joshua to win that fight, right? And I don't know how much of that is just like because he knows Joshua and he's like closer with Joshua probably than Wilder, stuff like that. But whatever, that's what he said for his fight prediction. So the thing, I respect it. You know, I've always liked Carl Froch. The thing I will say about this, unless it's about Andre Ward, Carl Froch typically, from what I've seen, has given things a fair shake. And the reason I say Andre Ward, if you mention Andre Ward, he still sounds bitter and salty, and he's going to say something rude, you know what I mean? Point blank, period. But aside from Ward, he has like insightful commentary and stuff like that. So it's just funny because, like I said, they try to relegate and use all these scapegoats and patsies. Oh, you American channels are so biased. Well, explain Carl Froch, who's saying that it's Eddie Hearn. And he also said something in his fight prediction. He says Joshua would be favored to win, but as long as this stalls out and the longer it takes, Joshua's just going to keep growing and keep developing, and that increases his chances of beating Deontay Wilder. So now it sounds like a whole strategy, like keep this thing waiting, give him as much possible experience because Wilder has like 40 fights. Also, hopefully it grows on the money end, and then when it's all said and done, Joshua has the best shot of winning, which is eerily similar to what Joshua himself said with Johnny Nelson when he was on the apron of the boxing ring. And he says, the thing about it is, right, I got a devil right here, devil in detail. I got an angel right here. The man in a suit, he's saying it's mad. He says, wait, maybe I fight him this year, maybe 2019, maybe 2020, right? But the fighter in me wants to da-da-da-da. So this sounds kind of like the same strategy that Carl Froch is talking about. And this makes more sense. Like, stall it out. Hopefully the money grows and everyone keeps winning, so you can have this mega pot at the end. 2, give Joshua as much experience as possible since he has 20 fights. And, you know what I mean, keep the back and forth banter from Wilder fans and Joshua fans, or whatever you want to call it. And then hopefully by the time it does materialize, Joshua, he'll be as ready as he's ever going to be. But the thing is, in my opinion, Deontay Wilder has freakish power, so it doesn't matter how long you prolong it. I mean, barring that Wilder like loses, or years down the line if he loses, or he's not the same fighter or some shit, barring something like that, then it doesn't matter because he's always going to be dangerous. Whether you fought him this year or you fought him next year, I mean, the power is still there. That's just not something you lose. I watched George Foreman at an advanced age when his body was no longer looking the same, stretch guys like Michael Moore, fights he was losing, you know what I mean? So the power doesn't go away. So in my opinion, the fight is as big as it's probably gonna get. I mean, people want to see it, and at the end of the day, it's only making you look worse, because now if you stall it out and you wait, then the loser is gonna have hell to pay, so to speak. The loser is gonna be like, damn, especially if it's Joshua, because he's the one that's perceived as his side not taking the 50 million. That's not even a perception, that's a reality, but he's the one that's perceived that his side has stalled this out. So if he loses, let's say he gets knocked out, especially if it's in a bad fashion, then people are like, oh, we see why you didn't want to fight him. So I mean, you just put more pressure on yourself. Look what happened with Pacquiao after the Floyd fight. After Floyd and Pacquiao, because people had finally got to see it, you know what I mean? They seen who was the best fighter of this generation, without a doubt. Pacquiao didn't do anything but make excuses. So, you know what I mean, that allure is stripped away from you. So to me, it would make more sense, do the noble thing. Should have fought him this year, fight him while it's hot, before anyone loses or looks vulnerable or the money goes down. It's just too much of a gamble. And at the end of the day, fight fans will respect it more if you fight someone when the time is right, when you're supposed to fight them, and when they're asking for you to fight him, win, lose, or draw. They'll be like, oh, okay, he stepped up to the plate and came up short. There's no shame in that. You know what I mean? It's a brutal combat sport. But funny to see that Carl Froch is saying the same thing that I've said. and let's hear what they have to say in terms of what excuses they'll come up with now. New media, Ego's Army, stand up. Make sure you smash the like button as always. Hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego signing off. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button. And you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.